All right, let's shift our attention a little bit now, because the National Director of Public Prosecutions, that's Shamila Batohi, continues her testimony today at the Nkabinde Inquiry. Batohi is a key figure in the case, as she initially wrote to the president and requested the inquiry into the South Gauteng Director of Public Prosecutions, Advocate Andrew Chauke's fitness for office. Nkabinde Matlala has more on this one for us. Nkabinde, we've been trying to follow this, and it is Shamila Batohi who is on the stand, having shared just her thoughts on why this was necessary, and that it wasn't just about a credibility issue, but really the ability to do the task at hand.
Yes, indeed, Arabile. In fact, she did say that they are going to be showing that there was some form of interference that took place. Now, the two cases that are in question are two cases and this is where you got General Boysen, who is from KZN, and we understand it's with regards to the racketeering charges. And the other one is the one with regards to Lieutenant Mdluli, who also had a case that was withdrawn against him. Now, these cases are a major issue. If you hear what she was unpacking, Advocate Shamila Batohi, is that she's saying that there were issues when they looked quite deep, did not make sense. One of them being the fact that we had the South Gauteng Director of Public Prosecution acting in KwaZulu-Natal. And if you look at the fact that there are restrictions with regards to the DPPs, it shows that he was supposed to be only acting in South Gauteng and not necessarily moving over to KZN. And now we understand that this case of the Cato Manor unit was actually in KZN, and we understand that he was helping with regards to the affidavits as well as the appeal, helping, of course, the then acting National Prosecutor of Public Prosecution, which was Jiba, helping her to appeal the racketeering charge. And we understand that when there was a leading of the evidence by Advocate David Muhlamanyane, he did explain that what was taking place there was unusual, and that, of course, validated by Batoy, explaining the fact that there are restrictions. That's the first part. The second part is the Mdluli part, which is where we understand that Mdluli had some of the charges that he was facing. Those were 5 charges, one being the assault charge, second one being the attempted murder, another one continues. And what we understand is that in those 5 charges, there was a charge of attempted murder that was withdrawn by Chauke when he said that there wasn't enough evidence. In fact, we know that they're saying that there was evidence to show this, but instead he withdrew the charges and provincially withdrawn them to basically look into an inquest. And according to his representative, Advocate Toby, he says it's because they were still looking for more evidence, and the 5 charges would go up to 7 charges. But during that process, the person that was a complainant ended up losing his life and being actually essentially murdered. And now those are some of the cases that they're questioning. But today we're looking at the nitty-gritties in terms of how it works, where it's supposed to be. And I'm going to go out of shot so I can show you who already is here at the moment. And you can see we're going to be taking flights at we're going to be starting at just about 9 o'clock. And we understand that the justice said that it cannot be late today, mainly because they want to finish much early. But the importance of this case, of course, is the fact that the evidence needs to be led, and we need to understand what was the interference and what did this mean, and why Advocate Shamila Batohi ended up speaking to the president with regards to these 2 cases, because the inquiry is something that a person that would be on Chauke's league will have to be subjected to. But let's listen into that conversation a little earlier with Advocate Shamila Batohi when she was explaining.
My question relates, we know that we are talking about Mr. Chauke here. Let us not talk about this broader picture. It doesn't assist us. The question arises, can Mr. Chauke leave South Gauteng area of his jurisdiction and go to KZN if circumstances arises to go and function as a prosecutor there or as a DPP there?
That is not permitted, Chairperson. As a DPP, he cannot exercise he cannot exercise jurisdiction over a case that emanates from another division.
So, Arabile, as you can hear there from the advocate, explaining that that is not possible with regards to the restriction, because we know that the DPPs are actually appointed by the president and appointed to a certain office. That means your jurisdiction remains there. But we'll get more details today as the inquiry continues.
Yeah, so important to have that. And as you said, the inquiry kicking off at around 9 o'clock. Promptly, as the justice would have wanted. Thank you so much for bringing us news on that inquiry.